For decades, Latinos wouldn't have recognized the Latino characters the media created, stereotypes that shaped the way other Americans viewed them.
I love them. They love me back, man.
It wasn't only other Americans whose prejudices were created and reinforced by these images. Latinos, too, bought into the stereotypes and began to believe it about themselves.
I hate this town. I always hated it. To be a Mexican woman in a town like this.
But a lot of things were changing in the nation, the caricatures of Latinos among them, in no small part thanks to the work of one angry young man.
El pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Ángeles se porciúncula, pendejo.
In the late 70s, a young Chicano actor named Edward James Olmos, in his first mainstream break, delivered a powerful and intense stage performance as El Pachuco in Luis Valdez's Zoot Suit.
Más chucote que la chingada. Pues órale.
Cuando voy al vacilón y me meto a un salón, las chavalas gritan, vamos a bailar canzón.
That role would earn him a Tony Award nomination and, just as important, a place as a new standard bearer of Latino culture, not only to those who observed it, but to those who lived it.
Don't give me that bullshit. I got this filero from you.
Did I tell you to kill the vato? Control yourself, Hank. Don't hate your raza more than you love the gringo.
I think it was a mark, the beginning of a presence, of a culture, of stories that were very important to that community and the struggles that that community really had to overcome.
Before Zoot Suit, we were these people that acted a little bit, that directed a little bit, but we didn't have an impact on the national consciousness. But then along comes Luis Valdez, along comes El Pachuco, as played by Eddie Olmos, and all of a sudden we're in everybody's conscious mind. All of a sudden we are there.
Acting roles came in fast and furious after that. He played an Indian activist in the horror movie Wolfen, and he created the role of the mysterious Gaff in the cult classic Blade Runner with Harrison Ford.
Got the wrong guy, pal.
Lopa, negochma, te vaya play.
Success gave Olmos the opportunity to pick and choose his roles carefully, always looking for characters that provided hope, dignity, and self-worth. In 1982, Olmos starred in PBS's The Ballad of Gregorio Cortez, a moving tale about a Mexican man who was unjustly persecuted by the legal system.
It was, in fact, an early expression of the Chicano civil rights struggle, the struggle to free Gregorio Cortez and to stop the brutality of the Texas Rangers and the racism that had been inflicted upon us.
No! Oh no! Mi familia,
The film and its message was so important to Olmos that when he screened it in an LA theater, he opened the doors to patrons free of charge.
Decía Gregorio Cortés con su pistola en la mano, a cuánto rinche cobarde para un solo mexicano. Ya con esta me despido a la sombra de un ciprés, y aquí se acaba el corrido de don Gregorio Cortés.
We also felt that we had an opportunity to transform American cinema and to let Hollywood know that here was a movie that had an audience, that could be successful, and that could open doors.
Olmos took characters who could have been two-dimensional and made them rich and real. In 1985, for the TV series Miami Vice, he was the determined Lieutenant Castillo, a role that became the moral center of the series and which won Olmos both an Emmy and a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor.
Don't ever come up to my face like this again, detective.
He was able to show Latinos in all our glory. with all our failings, all our humility, and all our glory.
For Olmos, it wasn't about glory. It was about guts, the inspirations and aspirations he found in everyday life. In 1988, Olmos portrayed real-life teacher Jaime Escalante, who turned his East LA students into math whizzes in spite of their difficult backgrounds. The film, Stand and Deliver.
Those scores would have never been questioned if my kids did not have Spanish surnames and come from barrio schools. You know that.
The film, like the man Olmos portrayed, inspired students to become standouts. In Latino communities throughout the nation, it reignited a sense of hope and self-esteem, and it earned Olmos an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, and vindicated his dedication to films that matter.
Because it's not between you and me. Maybe not. But if I catch you on the street, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you.
From there, Olmos moved behind the camera. His directorial debut, in which he also starred, was a 1992 film of equal but altogether different power, American Me.
And action!
Open your eyes up,
A brutal, realistic look at Chicano gang life in East LA.
Running that show on the inside's one thing. Running out here's a different trip.
The movie represented Olmos' belief that gang life was as destructive to Latinos in its own way as the oppression and injustices of the outside world. The film shows gang life teaching dysfunctional and destructive images of discipline, pride, and power. This time, not all the attention that his work received was welcome. Olmos got death threats from the Mexican mafia, and for a time, he feared for his life.
And I think he paid a heavy price for that one. But Eddie is a person like Rosa Parks who can demonstrate to us how much power we have if your intentions, motives, and purpose is intense and it benefits life, people, and the planet.
Such concerns did not slow down Olmos or his pursuit of meaningful roles. In 1995, he won a second Globe, this time as Best Supporting Actor for his role as a union leader in The Burning Season, based on a true story about a Brazilian rainforest activist played by Raul Julia.
I know that the ranchers can buy the police, they can buy the judges, but they can't buy the law.
In 1995, he starred in the critically acclaimed film My Family, Mi Familia, and 2 years later, he unleashed his characteristic intensity, playing the domineering father of the Latina singing sensation in Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez.
That's it!
What did you say?
I said I love him, and he loves me too.
Of course he does. You're young, you're beautiful, and you're rich.
Also in 1997, he had roles in The Disappearance of Garcia Lorca, 12 Angry Men, and Hollywood Confidential.
I know I've been acting a little weird.
But it was his role as the family patriarch in the PBS series American Family that once again broke new ground for Olmos, featuring a Latino cast.
Yes, we do.
These redheads fit together, they help each other do everything.
No, why don't
You're a traitor!
Each one of his roles have been unique, extraordinarily well-crafted, individual performances. You can only compare him to the very best of the actors in Hollywood. I mean, this is the kind of work that Pacino and De Niro do, the kind of work that Marlon Brando did, the kind of work that Anthony Quinn did. He has earned being in that rank.
Olmos